Man, probably a fun fact on me is that I like to read. Like I like to read. That's a lost art nowadays. Oh, my great uncle is Jesse Owens. He won 4 gold medals in 1936.
I always want to leave people with this, man, to all the viewers and everybody out there, man. Make sure you guys finish your story. Make sure you guys finish your journey because somebody's going to need it.
Yeah. All you got to do is push the back button. That's all you got to do is push the back button.
Try not to think about the future too much so you can maximize the now.
Who's your favorite rap artist?
Man, to be honest, it's crazy. Tupac always been my number one, right? Like he got me through so much stuff, but Lil Wayne has been in the modern day.
I said, what does it really take? What does it really take to be great, Drew? And he looked at me and he was like, you really want to know? And he was like, to be honest, everything you did to get here, you need to be consistent times 10.
What's up? How everybody out doing today? It's your boy, Coach Lee. Happy Monday to you, man. Hope you had a great weekend. I know your boy did. Welcome to the Playcall sheet. We got to get the crew up in here so we can bring you this hot fire. Before we get it started, got to bring my man up in here. He looking like Ray Charles behind the scenes, but he can see brightly into the future. We talking about them. How about them Cowboys? What's up,
we in the building. What's going on, everybody? Yes, sir. We here. The big man Zach Martin got a little extra cake, so we're here today. I told Jerry, you better give my man his money. You ain't gonna sign Zeke back. Gotta give my boy Zachary some cash, man. So play call sheets. What I'm calling today. I didn't need an audible for it. It was already gonna happen. We here, Coach Ryle and Tuquan live, and we got the triangle, so we gotta have the penetrator on here. No pause, because he's going to the bucket for 2. You know, in this case, he's going for 6. My guy, Chili Chill, Will ain't Will. Told you, dog, we don't do that over here. No.
What's good, family?
Word with it, man. We here, man.
It's driving dish. I'm a point guard. I don't all this penetration nonsense, man. But now we here, man. We here for the play call sheet, man. And before we had our topics picked out, and then we got hit up with some news on top of news. A couple signings, man. So we're gonna get into it. How y'all doing today?
We doing good, man.
Good, man.
We're doing good. First off, Coach shocked me with some news before we went on. I don't know if you was in here, Will, for the last couple seconds before you actually went live. Comes out to be, man, at the age of 28, Baltimore Ravens running back Alex Collins has passed away.
Oh, that's wild. Yeah, rest in peace for that man and his family, man. Like, shout out to his family. That's crazy.
Crazy as hell, man. You know, and that we've having news all day about running backs, and we'll get to that quickly in a second. But you know, definitely gotta give a condolences out to the family. Condolences out to the Baltimore Ravens organization. It's a sad situation, man. You know what I'm saying? Every time there's a death, man, no matter what it is, it kind of always crinkles me up. I'm over here like, damn.
Yeah,
you know,
it's not.
So, you know, but definitely,
it's not what we want to hear,
man.
Anybody know what happened?
They haven't specified yet.
It's too early.
Yeah. And I was asking too. I was like, I think he played at Arkansas. Cause I remember I was a big fan of his coming out of college. He told us they're right for the Razorbacks.
He had some wiggle too. Like he could play, man. That's crazy. 28, that's way too young.
Way too young. And it seems like it's happening way too often.
What up, Ed? What up, Chris? What up, Jake? Holla at y'all. Man, like it is tough being a Ravens running back. Like that's rough, man. That's crazy. I hope he's all right. I hope his family just, I don't know what to say. It's like to the, like, what do you ever say to a family? Like, just
actually, he was an Arkansas Razorbacks running back. Slight correction. He was the current running back, one of the running backs for the Seattle Seahawks. Previously was Baltimore Ravens. So
all that means is both franchises are gonna feel that. Like that's because you just because you switch teams, like you don't lose the guy in the locker room unless you was a jerk and you got out. Like, I mean, so both locker rooms gonna feel that, but most importantly, I mean, his family gonna feel that. So 28's too young to go.
Wait for you.
Definitely is.
R.P. Alex, man.
Yeah.
Condolences to you and your family. But let's get it to this. The other stories we got today. A lot of news. Had a little chance to razz our fellow Patriot fans from the Cowboys side. So, Will, y'all saw somebody today.
Yeah, and it's funny. My man Took made a joke like, I'm sorry he got to play for this sorry-ass team. That's what we've been saying for years about Zeke, though. So it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate. But nah. Look, I thought y'all should have resigned him, honestly. I mean, now when you see that it came out to just be $6 million for a year, I felt like y'all should have found a way, like, to sign him. Because imagine, look, we already talked about on a fantasy about the running back situation for y'all Cowboys. But like I said, I think Vaughn's gonna add some spice to that. Even though both of them backs are not power backs, I think he's gonna add some spice to it. But like, y'all could have had a 3-headed monster in depth if you just re-sign Zeke. Now we gonna have it. Look, everybody's talking about what he's gonna take off of Stevenson. Like he's gonna take some of the load off Stevenson. I don't even think it's gonna be all that much. He's gonna do some goal line work. It's gonna be mostly Stevenson, and he's gonna come in and block. That's really where he's gonna be an asset for us. Is blocking. And y'all been talking about that for years about him. So
he's the best blocker back in the league.
I agree. And now he plays for a team that needs the help in that area, especially because our receivers need a little more time to get open because they not that good.
My God.
Where's that?
Zeke Elliott to the Patriots. Now we know this has been swirling for weeks, kind of dead in itself. It came up to par today. Shout out to Zeke on a deal. Shout out to Zeke on being on a new team. It is a shitty ass team being in New England because I can't stand the Patriots, but he's gonna bring a lot of positive things as well as some negatives. But at the end of the day, he's what New England, the kind of guy New England could use, and he's serviceable in the aspects of what New England does. He's not gonna, have to pound a lot, but they run a system where the running backs are versatile. They're gonna keep switching, things of that nature, particularly goal line situations. Patriot fans are gonna have Zeke eat jerseys and Zeke eat shirts. It's a resurgence for a year for him. Let's see what he can do in this year. They say he's dead. They say he ain't got no game, no more juice. Man's got an old school haircut like the Ohio State Buckeye. He's trying to look like the Ohio State Buckeye in terms of weight. Let's see what
got that 1.5, wearing that 1.5. And also, we about to sell a lot of crop tops in Patriots Place. I know that. But yeah, man, I think it's a solid pickup. But bro, for 1 year, $6 million, he could have been a fullback. I don't give a shit. Like that's nothing, man.
Yeah, absolutely. As we go into Zeke, we obviously know that Dalvin Cook was signed.
Yep.
couple hours after, $8.6 million deal with the Jets on a 1-year deal. Anthony asks, do we think Cook waited for Zeke to sign first to make more than Zeke? You can say that because the way it just looked in the media made it definitely sound like, oh, snap, well, I'm going to sign here with the Jets. But I just think, honestly, these guys, both in hand, know that they need to be in training camp at the right time right now to get all the reps and all the practice they need to be able to be on the field week 1. And if you got the opportunity to be on the field in week 1, you're going to take it. I mean, both of these guys, waited long enough, weighed their options. Kind of the teams that they're on right now, the teams that we kind of knew was going to sign them, but it was kind of deaded a bit. Back to the running back game. They're in the game. We'll see you in September.
What Anthony's saying, I kind of agree. The way he worded it, that he signed just to get more than Zeke. The way he worded it makes it seem like he wanted to see how much he could get, but really he's gauging it. He's just gauging where the money's going to be at. I mean, so if Zeke gets 6, Dalvin is definitely worth more. He's younger and he's been doing more and more recently. So obviously Zeke gets signed, then he sees you got 6. What did Dalvin get?
Dalvin got 8.6. And the thing was,
that's funny.
They were kind of working out for the same. They were kind of working out for the same team.
Well, because the same teams had the same needs. It makes perfect sense. But honestly, I got kind of annoyed when I saw the Dalvin Cook signing because I'm like, y'all basically just kind of erased the whole Zeke thing. Like, one of the things we're trying to do, if you ask me, we're clearly the 4th best team in our division. One of the things we're trying to do is be able to have some kind of edge in some way. So we were like, all right, maybe we'll stack up on running back. And then they go sign a running back. Once Breece Hall come back, their 2-headed monster is definitely better than ours. So
3-headed monster.
Who's the third?
You got the rookie there from Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah, that name, that guy. We gonna call him Spinoza's man because he told us all about that dude.
Yeah, he did.
The Patriots and Jets end up probably with the best ground games. Not saying your QB. In the AFC East right now. This based on the paper, and obviously you got to go out there and compete. But for the Patriots to grab Zeke and they have Stevenson there, you look at Buffalo's running backs. We're still trying to look for it. We look at Miami's running backs. Their wide receivers are basically going to be their running backs. So it's like they can develop ways to win in that way. The Jets and the Patriots. I'm not saying that they're going to be 1 and 2, but it's going to be not an easy path for the Buffalo Bills or Miami Dolphins, which will probably be the top 2 teams coming into the season in the AFC anyhow.
Dolphins running game is going to look real funny because a lot of these plays are going to look like screens.
Yeah.
It's going to look because they got A-Chain who they saying is tearing it up in camp and looking good. But they also still got, I think they got Raheem Mostert still who's fast as hell. And they also got Gaskins who's like more all around, but also kind of a smaller back. It's gonna be it's an interesting team to watch. I feel like
Jake mentioned New York's gonna buy championships and all that. Nah, at the end of the day, you have a reserve spot for Dalvin in my eyes. Breece Hall's coming off an injury. You got a rookie that's there, but at the end of the day, you need that type of dude. And if you get him for that type of cash right now, you absolutely plug him in. I don't think it's try to win championships, in all. You're trying to just make your team better. Like, we shouted about the Jets and what they needed, and then when they get what they needed, it's, oh, okay. Or you can say the player, but at the same time, he was let go. Now he has options of where he wants to go. And last time I checked, he can go wherever he wants to go.
Yeah,
and New York can sign whoever they want to sign, if it's prime and premium dollar. But,
Jake, that's not fair, though, man. He said that the Jets are going to jet. The Patriots finally found their groove. It wasn't always the world beaters that they are. It's not fair to talk about them.
No, it ain't. I mean, it's a little bit fair, but it's not. It's 6 championships fair, but it's not like
it is.
But Brady ain't walking through that door, so that's just that. Like,
but just the most respect that I've had for the Jets as a team, probably since
Bart Scott and Revis.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Where they actually seemed like they had a coach with an identity, they gave the team an identity, and the front office had a game plan. And
wasn't Rexy there? I had a little respect.
Yeah, Rex was there.
Yeah, I think Rex was
there. Now, Ant axes now does decide to put the Jets over the Bills. I mean, in terms of where the teams were at last year, Probably not, but they play each other week 1, and they play each other on Monday night. So you're gonna get all the fireworks and festivities there already. You're already gonna get the comparisons. Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, and they played each other last year. It was pretty interesting until Buffalo took over, the better team. Now Aaron feels himself in a better situation. Let's see how they millie rock.
You got to keep in mind, a motivated Aaron Rodgers is still a good Aaron Rodgers. And he got counted out last year.
Because he wasn't motivated, right?
He wasn't motivated. He didn't know. He didn't respect the coach.
He was, I don't like none of these receivers. Oh, by the way, now that I'm on this new team, can I get all of those receivers?
I just didn't like how, the few times I saw him, even though it may not have been much, but it was the optics when he was having the run-ins with the coach about the play calling on the sideline. I don't think Salah's going to put up with that.
Nah, but also Salah's like, whatever, dude. I'm not coaching the offense. Beat it. Like it's just like it had nothing to do with me.
That's why we brought the Daniel Hackett there. For that reason.
He brought Hackett like, yo, you argue with this dude. I'm not doing that. What up, Dale? Who that? Matter of fact, I forgot to say it. Dale think he's slick. I know he used some college teams in our intro, but that first team you see got some real real Saints-like colors, man. You're not fooling no one.
Yeah, you're not fooling.
We appreciate you, Dale.
We do unfortunately talk about the Saints at times on this televised.
We're gonna have to more because he's part of the team now. So
Chris got his So I saw Chris had a couple of questions there. I think we answered all of them for him. He asked, "Where does Zeke go? He went to New England. If you haven't got there yet." And then he asked, "Who are your preseason picks to win a Super Bowl?"
He on the booze cruise asking the hard-hitting questions. Oh, that's Ballard, not Vic. Is that the same dude? Yeah. Yeah, I got the repeating champions. Chiefing them. Yeah, chiefing them. Until I see somebody really look way better than them. Like the teams that should be able to beat them, I don't know that they got better. They may have stayed the same, but what was the same is the Chiefs winning last year. I could see a rematch. Because I think, I know it's preseason, but in like 3 plays, I am terrified of Jalen Carter on the Eagles. Terrified. What he's going to do, y'all need to be more because he played in y'all division.
Nah, we ain't worried about him.
All right, you got that. I mean, all right.
You know what? He going to
clip it.
They better put on the left side. Zach Martin ain't hearing none of that.
Fresh off the bag.
And they did just pay him. Yeah. But clip it, he said he ain't scared.
We'll line again, Lewis. Live.
Lewis, my best worst friend. Or my worst best friend, whatever way you want to put it.
I don't care who come out to AFC for the Super Bowl. And you already know who's coming out to MSC for me preseason, man. And that's all I got to say. If you don't know, you better know.
You know.
The
Eagles know. They are the defending NFC champs. I give them their props for that. But
the Chiefs get worse.
Huh?
Yeah, word. That's hilarious. How the Chiefs get worse? I'm sorry. I just saw him say that. Yeah.
Jay gonna come here with them quirky takes.
and Lewis is not for that bullshit.
But Philly, I'm not trying to sound like a homer. It's gonna be out of 3 teams in the East. NFC. It's gonna be Philly, San Fran, or Dallas to come out of the NFC. I think those are the 3 clearly favorite teams out of there, and Vegas says so as well right now, as it stands right now.
And one of them got a shaky situation at quarterback, so
they do. Everybody's got more. Offensive line or running back situations, it's iffy. Rest of the team is solid. The Eagles, they D-line is stout, but they can be exposed at linebacker. They got a new safety in there, but the middle of the field is going to be wide open. And then you got San Fran's thing. We'll see.
Win prediction. I like 7-11 though, but I don't like that record. Though.
What's I'm gonna say, Dallas? You think I'm gonna say Washington?
So, listen, we're not listening to Washington even to win it, even if there was a second chance out of the season.
I got a lame duck coach. The enemy is going to be calling the plays as the head coach by.
And I hear that they already shook. I heard they already shook up in Washington the way he's coaching.
Who, the way the enemy's coaching?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That was
good.
That was a knock on him.
He's tough on his players. Yeah, too tough. Too tough for this younger generation.
I'm being real. If you know anything about me when it comes to the Cowboys,
yeah.
Oh, till be looking at me like you ain't no real Cowboy fan.
Hey, look, I be doing the same thing, Coach. For Patriots fans.
Nah, you gravy, man. You know, at the end of the day, man, we could be fans and have different opinions. We still friends at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? We chuck the deuces and we talk about it, you know what I'm saying? It comes with different perspectives. You know what I'm saying? But we here for the same reason. You know, I might just be a little chatty at times, but I'm trying to chill right now. I'm trying to read through September, wait till the first game. You know how I rock. You know, I'll be there Cowboy all season. Matter of fact, you already know what it is. This ain't no fair weather shit. We over here. What's wrong with y'all? DC for life.
Hey, so first of all, who were their grand receivers last year? If anything, they have Tony now for a whole season and under the system, so he's going to step his game up, which means their receiving core got better because Tony's better than Juju, in my opinion, moving forward. Yeah. And the other guys are pretty much the same. You mad because they lost Brian Pringle? Beat it. Second of all, on their defense, you said they lost their edge. Who? You can't even name somebody. You just said edge because you don't know who they lost.
Stall them out, man.
Jake's my guy. He just be saying shit sometimes, though.
Or that too, Lewis. Definitely, the NFL does give you stories like that in teams that happens to. So I definitely agree with that, Lewis. We'll be waiting for Tony to stay healthy to step up since 2012. Don't worry, I got Dak. Hold on. Let me see this. This is a good betting prop right here. I mean, I guess a great bet. He feels in his eyes. Let me go to Anthony's comment right here. Don't worry, I got 25 on Dak throwing over 12.5 NITs this season. Okay. 25? Yo, hold on. You only went 25 on it, bro?
You tell him to say it with his chest.
Hold on. And you
don't help him.
You only in bowl like that. You only went 25?
Don't help him, Anthony Price. And you think I'm reaching to be right, but you just came in here saying random stuff like you always do. It's okay, Jake.
I'm looking at their receiving core. I think they're pretty good.
Sky stepping up, getting better. Like
got Sky Moore, Scanlon, and Tony. I'll take that. And we already know who wide receiver one really is.
Right. It's Kelsey ain't go nowhere.
Jake, the difference between you and Will is Will has kind of gotten to the reality that New England's not going to be New England. So he hopes for Kansas City to be great. Not to say he's a fan or anything. And then with you is, who else do you want to be good? I guess it's Cincinnati. So you're both kind of doing the same thing in the response. You know what I'm saying? You know your team's not going to be great. So you have counter teams because you know you want Cincinnati to beat Kansas City. Because if it ain't Kansas City, who's it going to be?
Right. Except I have the advantage.
Y'all both feel like y'all both reaching for the same spot, but y'all both reaching to be right because
it's fine. I have the advantage of the team that I'm talking about, aside from the Patriots, just won it all, and they've won it before.
But at the end of the day, man, like y'all both on the same page, man. There's different things that come out. So I said, me and Coach, we here. At the end of the day, it's game day. We here. You know what I'm saying? For your teams that you like, man. You here for the Patriots, both of y'all, and I'm not gonna say no other team about y'all. And Cowboys up here, we ain't gonna say no other team about us. And that's how it goes, man. Kansas City's the team that we all want to hunt, but we know they good, dog. We know they good.
Just like you ride for your Washington football team, Commanders, whatever they go by now, we're gonna ride for the Cowboys, man.
They identity ass crisis.
So I got a man.
Don't be snitching. It's him.
I got a man coming up here tomorrow, man. I got my guy Josh Austin coming in for the chop up tomorrow night, man.
Yeah.
You know, they gonna come in. He may just be bulging on topics we have, but at the same time, it'd be good to have him in the house and say he wants to come through. You know what I'm saying? To the side. You know what I'm saying?
Glad to have you, Josh. But where's the thrill of the surprise, bro? You could have popped up and had everybody like riled up, man. He just spoiled the whole joint for himself. You couldn't have did that. It couldn't have been me. I'd have rolled the carpet out for myself. Like, it'd have been crazy. But hey, do your thing, man.
He couldn't hold that water.
I know. I can't wait to have him, though. It's going to be fun.
Shout out to you, Bree. We see you.
Bree out here. Yo, Bree, how many different names did your thing have? I feel is that me or she got like mad different names that she be sliding in with?
Shout out to Beyond Reach, man. August 18th, man. You know, they're going to be doing their seminar over here, you know, collaboration with STWF. So, you know, if you ain't registered, man, I don't know if registration is too late right now, but if you could register, you know what I'm saying, we'll have the link up later on so you can do that. You know what I'm saying? Should be interesting.
I'm over here apologizing for not registering. And Unc's like, bro, you're already in the, what are you talking about? But
yeah. You know, all of y'all are like, two and Jake already signed up. See, okay, so Anthony says, okay, Cowboy fans, question is signing Martin fully guaranteed money. You have enough for Dak new deal and signing Micah Parsons. First off, Micah, we still 2 years away from Micah because they're going to pick up the 5th-year option.
Yeah.
Dak's extension is probably going to take him maybe a year past Micah's money. Tyron Smith is going to be coming off the books. Zach Martin, you know, he got 2 years left on his. It all kind of favors into where there's going to be a regime change in the next 2 to 3 years. It's going to be the young guys who are there are going to be getting extended, and the older guys are probably going to be moving on. And
aside from the injury, what can happen to anyone, signing Martin is the right thing to do. He's one of the best players at his position in the league.
Say again?
I said, and despite the guaranteed money, like you got to sign a guy like that. He's one of the best players at his position in the league in Zach Martin. So that's the right thing to do.
I'm just disappointed that Zeke went to that shitty ass team, man. It's all good, man. I'm
did it on purpose because you know they coming here.
Oh yeah, they coming here. It's gonna be a great. I put that Zeke's gonna have a good game against them. I say that. I say Zeke's gonna have a good game against them. They're gonna make it TV for a while until it ain't TV no more.
I gotta hustle to get myself down there for that game, bro.
No longer.
I got hustle, bro.
I got the hook up as far as the spots to eat. I've been doing my homework already.
So you know what I'm saying?
My man tried to appeal to my inner fat man. Like, I get it, bro. I'm gonna do it.
Jerry already saying the yacht may be open, dog. So you can come through. We've been riding here on the NFL, man. That's the way we need to come through here on the Play Call Street. Is blazing fire. The NFL starts in a few weeks. Preseason went on. We'll have some news on that later. But we got some news. We got stuff tonight we want to discuss tonight and talk about. So
let's get it moving.
Let's get it cracking, man. Shout out to everybody tuning in.
Money and contracts. Well, you know what? Season ain't started, but we already got some people who are coming up as possible free agent camp bust. These are guys who signed with new teams and is not going well initially. So right off the top, Jimmy G.
Hold it.
You did call it, fam. So he's not doing too well. And he had a little bit of injuries last year here and there, nagging injuries. But the Raiders are hoping he can get past that and stay healthy. But as I said, it's easier said than done. Now, other than his health concerns, Jimmy G, he's got plenty to prove in Vegas with his new team. A lot of times, a lot of people said he probably had success because of Shanahan and his offense, because he's very good at masking, the weaknesses of the quarterbacks. Josh McDaniels, not so much. So how do y'all feel about Jimmy G? He gonna be able to turn it around there, or you think he's just gonna be trash? You know what? I take that back. I can't call any NFL player trash because they made it to the big game, to the league. So I take that back. Is Jimmy G gonna be sufficient for his team?
We've probably seen the years of him doing that already come down the helm. This is a man that's in his career is going to go home and say, hey, I played on one of the best dynasties in football. I won championships. I was able to get a great bag. I lived the lifestyle as a guy that started some games, started some seasons, and I was the backup man. I am a legitimate quarterback in the NFL. They can't say nothing wrong about me when it's all over. And regardless of what Jimmy G does this season, he's already exceeded all the expectations that we all asked of him. We know there was going to be a downfall. They continue to be, but Las Vegas is the team to sign him. Maybe this due diligence, you know what I'm saying? Maybe they like him as a person. I don't think they like him as a quarterback in Las Vegas. And I say that, and people might say, yo, well, T, it's football. You have to like him for his football game. No. In some instances, you see Josh McDaniel right here, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just love the player for the player, not the way he plays. I think this is more just like, you know, just being in the family and who's there in Las Vegas with Jimmy G. Now, he's going to go out there and compete and play hard when he's there. He's not going to sell short, you know, but how much left does he have? I don't know. But he doesn't need anything else. Now, if he gives them a whole bunch of spark, then let's see what else can happen. But, I mean, they're just a mediocre team anyway.
Man, if ifs were fists, we all be drunk. But, but yeah, I like what Josh just said. I trust Jimmy G to stay healthy at football for a season like I trust Chris Sale to stay healthy for a full season of baseball. 100%. They might as well be the same player.
That's true.
Even Sale got more success behind him, but Jimmy, man, Jimmy couldn't stay healthy on a team that was loaded. This team isn't that. And he already throwing picks and stuff. Predictable. Predictable.
Number 2 on the list. Y'all just got him. We spoke about him briefly earlier. Juju Smith-Schuster of the New England Patriots. So, for him, so he signed, I think it was a $16 million guarantee. Is that right? I'm sorry. He signed a 3-year, $25.5 million contract with a $16 million. Oh yeah, $16 million. $16 million is guaranteed.
And this one, Jake was right about. If you don't work out, Jake was right about this one.
Now his last big time season was in 2018 with the Steelers. He put up 1,426 yards.
Yeah,
but
he made some plays last year with the Chiefs.
He on the other side.
Yeah, that's true too.
Now you're right. You know, with the Chiefs last year, he had a little bit of a resurgence.
And also the last couple years with the Steelers, he had Big Ben with no elbow. So that was tough. That was tough. That don't mean he would have did anything though. This is fair.
But my thing is he going to be your wide receiver 2 there?
Yeah, the other guy we paid too much. Devontae Parker.
Okay. Because I'm like, Schuster shows he performs better when he's wide receiver 2. He struggles as wide receiver 1.
Yeah, they'll make Parker the 1. They'll put him in the 2, and then the 3rd is going to be Thornton. And then we got a couple of rookies who we're trying to get up to speed. Even though I like the fact that we have a real offensive coordinator now in Jim O'Brien and Bill O'Brien, the problem is his scheme is kind of tough on wide receivers' IQ. And now we got a bunch of young guys behind 3 guys who always get hurt. So
well, Tim, man,
it's looking slow at wideout right now.
It's looking slow, and it's like you got upcoming rookies, like you said. You got guys that you've been trying to mold. Then you got guys that are veterans in Parker and Juju. Ah, man, it is tough. You want him to be great. He was in the system last year with the Chiefs where he was able to humble himself and be humble all around all season. You're going to go into a similar situation in New England. Only difference is Bill's going to drag on you a little bit and may give you a little less ball than you got in KC. So it's all about, like you said, IQ. You know what I'm saying? Concentration and just, you know, wanting to be there and trusting the system. And hopefully the system gets back to you. Because they got a lot of guys over there who could potentially, you know what I'm saying, be the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th on any given day. You know how Bill Belichick routes.
That's true. Next up, we got to talk about the big uglies or the big nasties, whatever you want to call them. Andre Dillard, offensive tackle with the Tennessee Titans. Now, he came over from Philadelphia. He was a former number 22 overall pick, if I'm not mistaken, back in 2019. But the whole time he was there for 4 years, because they didn't pick up his 5th-year option, he only played 714 snaps. He was always injured. Now, Tennessee, they're just throwing money around these days. They signed him to a 3-year, $29 million deal.
I mean, why not?
And plan on putting him at left tackle.
Also, why not? I mean, when you're in the Tennessee position at this place, it's like, sure, let's just try some things. Nothing else is working. Let's just try some stuff.
Now, this is a weird thing. So they're saying he's a plan B for the 2023 first round pick, Peter Skronsky. Even though he's currently set to play left guard, Skronsky was a standout left tackle in college. So they're saying that it may leave Diller out there for a few months because the right tackle, Nicholas Petit-Frere, he's got a 6-game suspension for violating the league's gambling policy.
Oh, that's fun.
So it sounds like Tennessee is probably going to Tennessee. They're subpar at quarterback. Offensive line's got Swiss cheese holes in it. And I don't know if big man gonna be able to rumble like he normally does. And they was trying to move him during the offseason.
Jake, he had 5 sacks last year. How's that not mid? Get it together, bro.
Yeah, Clark went back to Seattle, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's washed too.
He's washed. That's what I'm trying to tell this dude. Like, he been washed.
Think about Clark 2 or 3 years ago.
Like 4 even. Like, it's been a while since that guy been a threat. Like,
Tennessee, yeah, I agree with y'all. Tennessee going Tennessee, and right now they got money to spend because obviously they're not doing the right things with it, or anybody doesn't want to go to them besides DeAndre Hopkins because he knows what potentially could be there. Let's see if it actually does come around for him. Yeah, but I'll say what about that move, but I mean they need that necessity. You know, you got to keep Derrick Henry happy. This is the last obstacle kind of for you in this loser tour is to keep Derrick happy because once Derrick's gone, it's over.
They have no idea once he's gone.
It's over.
The funny thing is that who's in that division? We got the Texans, the Colts,
Jacksonville.
Okay, so I mean,
Jacksonville up.
Yeah, and everyone else is.
Everybody got quarterbacks with them.
Mentally.
Yeah.
I can see him possibly going to a team season.
Levis didn't look bad yet. Bro, Jake, this is what I'm talking about. You never give up when you're wrong, bro. Go look at his stat. Just do some research for once. He hasn't had double-digit sacks since he left Seattle. It's been 8 sacks, then like 6, then 4, then 5. That is garbage for an edge rusher. He is a bum. Give it up.
Doing the man dirty. Hey, like I said, this is why debate and opinion is so right because there's so many other players that you may think that's in the same position as Frank, Jake, and Will probably too. But at the same time, this is why we do it. You know what I'm saying? Because different aspects, you know what I'm saying, and different words and, you know, different conversations erupt from it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all said Zeke was ass and trash and down, yeah, it doesn't matter. He still sucks. Guess what? We gonna be in New England, and I'm gonna hear y'all chat a little bit sometimes about him. Maybe talk shit about him when he's not having a good game, as all teams do. But at the end of the day,
he better ball. I'm gonna crush him still.
It's all common theme.
But if he killing, I'm gonna talk again.
It's all common theme, man. All love, man.
When he leave, I'll be talking.
So
nothing is terrible. Nothing is never a terrible take. This is a take that he has.
That's true. So this next guy, I can see him being a bust. I didn't understand when New Orleans took him in the first round. I thought it was a stretch then. That's Marcus Davenport, who's now with the Minnesota Vikings as the edge rusher. He tallied 4.5 sacks as a rookie with the Saints in 18. Then he got 6 in 19. But then he only had 1.5 in 20. He had a career high of 9 in 2021, and he had a half a sack last year. When I see this, the only thing I can think of, he is terribly inconsistent. And they signed him to a $13 million contract. I think it's 1 year, $13 million.
it just seems like Minnesota feels like they have a great defense every time you look into it before the year starts. Then they start to crumble. I don't know what their identity is on the defensive side of football. And I haven't known their identity on the defensive side for a very long time. Though they are definitely competitive on the offensive side. You need this defense to somewhat compete this year. So maybe a lot of money to get out of them, but it's a safe bet. It's a safe bet. I take it as a safe bet. See what he does with a different scheme, different team, and I'm gonna be real. The Saints, they have defenders and they talked about a lot of the defenders. Minnesota, probably like one or two they talk about. He'll fit in good, I feel, with him.
He's still gonna get beat up by them Lions.
Yeah, probably.
Too many times.
That's what they talking them in the division. We ain't ready to talk about that. Absolutely, man. We gotta see them at the gate. It's great that we get to see them on Thursday. Display their Super Bowl contender play, as everybody's saying they may be, or a playoff contender. Let's say it's gonna be exciting to see those Vikings-Lions game because they're actually pretty interesting when they do play for some reason.
And the last guy we got on here is Nicholas Murrow. He is a linebacker. He's with the Eagles now. Again, I mentioned earlier how the Eagles are soft in the middle. Yeah, that's their weak spot right there. So they signed him to a 1-year, $1.2 million contract. I believe he came over from Chicago. Yeah, he came over from Chicago. He had a career high 116 tackles last year. But then they recently added Zach Cunningham, Miles Jack. I can't believe he was still playing. But didn't they draft Nakobe Dean?
Nakobe, yeah, they just look like they're just too flooded. They looking like something's gonna happen to them. They're flooding themselves at the most important side of football. But it's too many. But it's good circumstance. It's good circumstance, maybe. But I hope that these guys are used and the top guys aren't. I hope the top guys, something happened to them. Eagles, sorry. You know what I'm saying? We need that division this year. We let y'all hold on a little bit too long. And at the same time, man, they're being strategic and smart, man. I can't be mad at a team like that going to get a guy like that. I can't be mad at that.
So Anthony says, so you think Jordan Davis is soft for the Eagles in the middle? No, their D-line is stout. They are probably too deep across the board. I'm talking about the middle. I'm talking about the linebackers. The linebackers are a question mark, and they got new safeties in the back. Who's the defense coordinator there now? And that y'all's former guy is there now? He was offense coordinator for y'all last year?
Who you talking to?
The Eagles defensive coordinator.
Who is the DC?
Brian Johnson. You said the offensive coordinator, right?
Defense coordinator.
Oh, sorry, defensive coordinator.
Sean Desai. Desai. I don't know much about him.
Eagles guy spending previous campaign as an associate head coach, defense of the Seattle Seahawks.
Okay. So you got a new coordinator. You got still some young linemen. Now, who's the big guy that they got the year before from Alabama? I think that is Davis, right? Davis not soft, but he's inconsistent. He didn't dominate like I thought he would have last year. But we all know within the division who's got the best defensive line. I know Washington got the best defensive line, but you're supposed to. You got all them first-round picks up there.
Yeah,
but
they got to stay healthy, too, honestly, Washington. So.
Yeah, I got a lot of young players and rookies on their team.
Who the Eagles? Yeah, but Jalen Carter don't like he gonna be playing like no rookie, and that position isn't that hard to come in and make an impact right away. Defensive tackle,
just get in there and just muck stuff up.
Yeah, just be big and fast and mean, and then you'll get some shit done.
I agree with that.
That is the 5 projected free agent busts of the 2023 camp.
They bombing. They bombing.
So, you ready to take a quick break?
Do it.
Take a break. No.
Y'all stay right here, man. We'll be right back, man. Come on.
15,
That's
20.
about 15.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's cornerback Delvin Breaux here from your favorite team, New Orleans Saints. I just want to go ahead on and give a shout out to STWF Media for allowing me to come on and talk about my testimony, my story, and also talk fantasy football. I just want to say thank you, man, for the honor. I appreciate you, man. Y'all make sure y'all tune in tonight at 7:30 Central Time. Bro Show out.
Hold on, man.
Oh, yeah. Hell no. We ain't laying off no brisket. Cut that out.
Oh,
You
man.
might want to left the brisket. Oh. No.
What you trying to say, man? Come on.
He does need to lay off it for about a month. For about a month, he laid down on it, and then we can resume action. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
Absolutely, man. So, next up,
man, you know, we have a lot of things that we're going to see this NFL season. We're going to see spectacular catches. We're going to see spectacular cheerleaders. We're not going to see spectacular fans, but you may see a fight or two. You know, you're going to see a lot of challenges. You're going to see a lot of controversy on Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football. There's just going to be a lot of things going on. But in the NFL, there are records. And sometimes they say the motto is the records are meant to be broken. But these are records that are least likely to fall in the NFL. You know, there's a bunch of records in the NFL that, you know, perhaps may have not been broken yet. And unless you're Tom Brady, you may not be breaking anything soon. Or Patrick Mahomes. Sorry, Patrick Mahomes is kind of, you know, ascending at a great fashion. So we have some interesting stats that we're going to break down in terms of the NFL records that are least likely to fall. Starting at 1, Jim Hardy's interceptions. Back before the Super Bowl era, the Chicago Cardinals quarterback Jim Hardy had a day to forget in 1950, completing 12 of 39 passes in a 45-7 loss to the Eagles. Worse yet, he connected with the wrong team for 8 interceptions, one of which Eagles returned for a touchdown. Not only is 8 just a shockingly high number, a key component today in the pivotal leash for a quarterback. Only 2 quarterbacks in the last 45 years have tossed 7 interceptions. At some point, a head coach may spontaneously combust if he doesn't make a change, or only for the remainder of the game. So that it is right there. Another one here. OJ did it. You know what I'm saying? And I seen the little say, shout out to James, and I seen Bumpin' James going through, talk about some OJ talk the other day. James thinks OJ's the GOAT. A lot of people think OJ's the GOAT, man. And honestly, if you just argue with people that think that way, you can't. OJ's a fucking living legend. But OJ Simpson's yards per game. At the time, OJ Simpson set a single season record of 2,003 rushing yards in 1973. 7 players have since surpassed the mark, which now belongs to Eric Dickerson and his 2,105 yards in 1984. Dickerson and others, though, each tallied 16 appearances during their respective year. Simpson had 14 games. On a per-game basis, his 143.1 holds the highest average of exactly for 10 yards. For comparison's sake, Adrian Peterson posted 131.1 in his memorable 2012 campaign. Derrick Henry 126.7 in 2020. And between the 17-game schedule and a lesser emphasis on the running game and the modern era, it's highly improbable that anyone will collect 24-33 rushing yards to surpass OJ's mark. So, like I said, OJ's somewhat going to stay a living legend. You can't take that away, man. No gods if you hate him or you love him. Miles. Go down the comments, right? 8 interceptions. Why would you start this running at some point? Because football is a lot smarter now. And back then, it doesn't matter if a quarterback threw 10 interceptions. He may still stay in the game. That's just the way it was back then. It's improving now. Now, if you throw 2, you may look at the backup QB like, yeah, come in now.
Shit, in this era, they let Eli Manning throw all them interceptions and just stay in the game. Like,
yeah, because you're looking at it like, I mean, okay, the Super Bowl, yeah, he's a Super Bowl champion, yeah, man, whatever. But I feel you, definitely. But, you know, you get your guys. It's based on your team, basically. George Blonder's career length. George Blonder put together one of the most fascinating careers in the NFL and technically AFL history. Altogether, he played 26 professional seasons with tinctures of 7+ seasons with the Chicago Bears, Houston Oilers, Oakland Raiders as well. In addition to setting the record for extra points, 943, he notched a 53-51 record as a quarterback. Blender debuted in 1949 and played his final game in 1975. Since then, the team have come reasonably close to matching 26 years. Couple of ones we know from modern era. Morton Anderson, Adam Vinatieri played 25 seasons, and John Carney hit 24. But actually making it to that 27 season seems unbelievable. Next. Now, I'm not going to predict this, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know what that QB position is looking like in Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay's losing streak. I choose to believe. And then shout out Bleacher Report for this interesting news over here. Tampa Bay Buccaneers begin their franchise history with a salute to Blonder's long career. Blonder retired after the 1975 season, and the Tampa organization began play in 1976. Unfortunately for Bucs fans, the team dropped 26 consecutive games before earning that first win in December of 1977. Along the way, 11 shutout losses, 8.9 points per game. Number tumbled to 4.4 during the 12 losses, the streak in which Tampa's quarterback tossed one touchdown to 29 interceptions. Hold on. One touchdown to 29. And I bet you he still played for the whole season to open the 1977 season. That is nauseating level of fealty right there. Even the franchises with the worst 2-year runs during the last 2 decades, 2 teams that people want to be good, the Bears and the Lions, and a team that may be good this season, or maybe somewhat, you know, maybe sneaking in the AFC Championship game, that's the Jaguars, have never surpassed 20 losses in a row. Now, technically, the Chicago Cardinals lost 29 straight games in the early 40s, but due to, you know, some asterisks putting on it, you know, they're going to say World War II is the reason why they don't have that in the history books, but yeah, I guess so. I guess we have 2 different losing streaks in one, as we just found out. Now, you know, in order to win Super Bowls at times, you got to win on the road. Now, sweet to have home field advantage, but if you're on the road, you definitely got to win those games. And in the last few years, wildcard teams have definitely noticed that. And it's been more and more likely that they're able to catch wins. So this record right here, San Francisco's road wins. In 1988, the first of 2 straight seasons with a Super Bowl ring, the dynasty had begun. The Niners kept winning on the road. 18 consecutive regular season games that they won outside of Candlestick Park from 88 to 1990. The streak started with a 48-10 thrashing over the San Diego Chargers in 88 and continued to the opening game in the 91 season. In other words, Joe Montana led 49ers with a perfect 8-0 in both the 1989 and 1990 campaigns. Only the 2016-17 Patriots have also registered more than 12 straight road victories, and their streak ended at 14. Now, this one is something that Aaron Rodgers don't want to break this season. And, hey, somebody's going to break it. People thought Jameis broke it, but he didn't. He just threw 30 for 30. And that's Brett Favre. Deservedly remembered as one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history, boasting a career of 3 MVPs, 500 touchdown passes, and a Super Bowl win. However, he had a gunslinger mentality and a reputation for a reason. Tossing 336 interceptions in his 20-year NFL career, leading the league in industrious category 3 times, threw a career worst 29 picks during the 2005 campaign. Longevity is also a major factor with this record. Of course, among the 30 active with 200 plus interceptions, every single one played at least 14 years. Heck, exactly half of them are Hall of Famers. Drew Brees, Tom Brady, and a few others on the way. Favre, although has thrown 53 more interceptions than anyone else, and the modern era doesn't allow someone to throw 20 plus picks with no repercussions for more than a decade.
You get good. You become a journeyman.
Yes, sir. And then we have here, last but not least, and I'm happy to say this because Cowboys rule the world. Get your shoes. Dance. Emmitt Smith rushing yards. this conversation particularly interesting to me. Why? Because it's a Cowboy. It has to be interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
How we view running backs in 20 years. Over the last decade, they've become the most expendable players on the roster. Gone are the days, mostly of running backs handing 300-plus yard carry seasons and holding a featured role in the mid-30s. Perhaps you like to point out Derrick Henry, who has been on the tear as he enters the 2023 campaign with 8,335 rushing yards. Henry's only 10,020 yards behind Emmitt Smith. Offenses today expends to lean on quick passes for an extension of the running game. Football will evolve, but there's no guarantee it leads to an initiate ground and pound mentality of years past. Smith racked up 800,355 yards in his 15-year career, scraping for 900 plus in every season, but one awfully high bar to clear out of position, now searching for long-term relevance. Shout out to Emmitt. Shout out to the Cowboys. I hope that record's never broken. You know why? Because they don't deserve to. You know why? Because nobody worked as hard as Emmitt goddamn Smith. And people can say, oh, yeah, the offensive line, but guess what? Longevity beats anything every day. Any effing day, Emmitt going to be on that list. Sorry, Barry. It's not Emmitt's fault you didn't play that long. Sorry, it wasn't Emmitt's fault you was in a bad situation. They going to name Barry or Barry better than Emmitt. Nah. Put some respect on Emmitt's name. That's all I got to say about that. Records that were least likely to fall in the NFL.
Man, you know, I sighed at the end when you talking about my man Emmett. You know why I sighed? Did I get tired of hearing that notion? It's the offensive line. The offensive line that was
had one Hall of Famer.
One fucking Hall of Famer. Nate Newman from the USFL. Mark Turin was converted, failed defensive lineman. Yeah.
But here's the thing. What you always end up saying after you run that list, which stop me if we heard that story before, but what you always end up saying is they just played as a great cohesive unit. Well, that's still the point. He had a great line. Now, if you want to talk about individual talent, which is what you talk about, yeah, fine. Agreed.
Who was the engine that made that offense go?
It wasn't Emmitt.
Oh, it wasn't? Do you not remember the outburst that Charles Haley had when they started the season 0-2? Told Jerry fucking sign him. Emmitt was the engine that drove that. He had one of the now in the open field. Emmitt absolutely did not have Burry's speed, top-notch speed, nothing like that. But from the point of getting the hand out to the line of scrimmage, he was one of the fastest backs to get to the hole. And
his quick decision making was legit too. Like
absolutely. Get that man.
No, Emmitt's great. It's not like I don't think Emmitt's great. Like, also, you gotta remember what school you went to.
Oh yeah, that's
right. Hey,
I can't lose in this debate.
The only guys after was as sane as him because they are some wacko.
I mean, man, what pain we got? We show number love up here, man.
I'm always surrounded wall to wall by Cowboys fan, but luckily that's why we had to recruit Jake. I mean, to balance, to tip the scales.
You get a couple punches in, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what you look for, man. So
absolutely.
We
have fun with it, man.
Man, y'all. A lot of people probably fear what the NFL world is gonna look like if and when the Cowboys get back to the big dance. Imagine what a Washington fan is gonna do, though. They're gonna probably be out there beating people up. I told you.
And on top of that, they just don't deserve it. So, like, it's just crazy. Washington.
What? Who deserves it?
Oh, don't come over here. You can't be coming over here. You're coming on the chopper tomorrow. Now, one thing you don't want to do is piss coach off with the barbecue. Dallas barbecue's whack. Because we have to have a discussion about that.
First off, real people from Dallas barbecue, we don't eat out. We cook the shit ourselves.
That's why Josh is a tourist.
Get him. Get him.
He's the ultimate tourist.
With no barbecue sauce. Straight up.
Get him.
Barbecue sauce, whack barbecue.
Yeah. Also, that man trying to get jumped on the show tomorrow. He wilding right now.
Josh ain't never been in a fight that he don't care that he care about, man. He don't care. He over there.
Spring Creek or some shit. But man, great topic, man. We're gonna hit our last break for the night, and we're gonna hit with some stuff. Will, I sent you that, so hopefully that'll work out.
I got it. It did. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We're gonna take a break. We'll be back by 15-20. Appreciate y'all hanging out with the boys.
Check this out. You heard?
Records are last forever.
What's up, world? Kyrie Robinson, man. New Orleans Saints veteran. Hey, man, make sure you guys go check out my guy, man, STWF, the media, man. Check them guys out. Y'all want to get sports talks with players, with fans, anything like that, man, go check them guys out, man. That's the place to be if you want to talk sports. Who that nation?
Back at it like we're mad at it. Appreciate you hanging out with your boys on the off-season still edition of the Playcall sheet.
You know,
y'all are season talent. I will.
baby.
You know what? I take that back. No, y'all not. I'm gonna give y'all props. Y'all don't put all that salt in your food. That's all it is.
Ooh. We are seasoning challenged. I mean, is a fool. All right, so we you know how we like to overreact. I mean, it's what's it, overreaction Monday or armchair, whatever they call it Monday. Like, here we are. Yeah, armchair quarterback, Monday morning GM, coach, whatever you want to call it. It's all of that. We went through 1 week of the preseason, and I'm not really interested in everybody's team yet. Because none of this really make too much sense, or we're not seeing everything real yet. We still got guys playing who going to bag groceries this year. So, like, I'm not really worried about the direction of the teams yet. What I am interested in is just how rookie quarterbacks are looking, even in small little stints. It could be a throw here or an interception there. I just want to see how these rookies quarterbacks are looking so far in the preseason. And after 1 week, I mean, we got a little snapshot. So let's take a look at that. Now, I'm not going to read all of these because there's no need to get all deep into it and everything, but I just want to see some stats and some numbers from this week 1. So we got, shout out to the rookies, man. Y'all can see that, right?
Yes.
All right. So we got the number 1 pick, the number 1 overall pick. Everybody's worried about what's going to happen with this man. He went 4 for 6, 21 yards, nothing major. What I did like that I saw out of him was I watched that man take. It's funny because, like, the questions we had, you're going to see on this list, the questions we have about certain guys, even though it was only 1 week in like 2 or 3 drives, some of those got tested right away. And the number 1 question we all had about Bryce Young was not about can he throw, not about if mentally he could play the game, is can his body hold up? Can he take the hits? And I think it was like his first pass. He got squashed by a big man.
Yeah, and that was a bad fall too. That knee kind of buckled. The wheel freeze again too.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think he did freeze, man.
My back,
man, you know, first game on the field. You know, we're gonna call them ultimate jitters, man. You know, you only get better with the reps you take. You're in there as the number 1 pick. We know what value and or pressure it can hold on you. So, like Will said, it definitely overreaction Monday. But yeah, the hits, you know, especially for a rookie QB at his size, like, can you take those hits? Because those hits are gonna come frequently. You know what I'm saying? It could be for a loss, it could be after the play. I mean, though you'll get a flag once or twice, but at the same time, you know, you gotta be ready for that.
No, I mean, look, so my whole point of this was I didn't even see jitters with the man. I actually saw a couple good passes, but more importantly, the hit that he took, one of the couple hits that he.
We'll stay here. Freezing will be right back with us, man. We do apologize for his technical difficulties. You know, I told him, man, better get that Xfinity. You know what I'm saying? Being down there down south. But CJ Stroud, man, Bryce Young, sorry, man, number 1 pick, if you don't know, of the Carolina Panthers in his last draft, man. They didn't score any of the series that the Panthers had with him in there. And that's going to be pivotal, too, is putting points on the scoreboard as well for the Carolina Panthers. You know, a team that, by NFC South standards, did okay last year, but it's not about the NFC South, as we all know. You can get a playoff spot being in that shitty ass division. It's ultimately the growth of Bryce Young and the growth of this football team. After getting rid of a coach that you're almost paying $80 to stay at the crib, basically. Well, he's coaching again now, but he's getting that football bag. So now you got Frank Wright, and now he's bringing his system in it and the guys he wants. So hopefully,
as my internet kept interrupting me, the hit that he took was the same type of hit that broke Aaron Rodgers' shoulder or dislocated his shoulder that time, gave him the whole shoulder issue. So, and he got right back up from it. So I like that. I mean, he completed some passes, they didn't score. It's good. CJ Stroud looked awful, honestly. He played my Patriots. He threw a pick to Jalen Mills. That was a terrible pass. He was 2 for 4 for 13 yards. It was all bad. Anthony Richardson from my Gators to Lewis's Colts. He had a nice, I mean, it wasn't a great game. He also threw an interception, but he just, that you could see it. You could see all the talent he has, the arm angles he's throwing out of, the power, the quick release, his athletic ability. It was all on display, albeit for 3 drives. There was also some drops that he had that would have made this a better game, but 12 for 17, 7 for 12, 67 yards. That's nice. I mean, that's decent just for 3 drives with a not great team so far. But he threw some balls high, though. Me and Lewis were watching, and that's one thing we noticed. He can't miss high like that when the season starts, because those are going to go back the other way.
Yeah, you definitely can't miss high like that. I mean, these are games, obviously, these games don't count, but like development. You're missing those. You're gonna see that on the camera in the highlight film room, and hopefully you correct those, because those are what you have to do. That's typically the case in what QBs in the game. Guys that you expect to be great size. You're anxious. You know what I'm saying? But you got to minimize those high balls. You know what I'm saying? Actually had a touchdown taken away. What I'm saying, which would have been great for him. It's taken away. So he'll be at it next week, man. But
he also didn't have his starting back. But again, it's preseason. We'll see what happens.
Let's see if they have that back before the season starts.
He might not even get him back. I know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So the second round pick, number 33 overall, Will Levis entered the game in the second quarter for the Titans, relieving Malik Willis. He threw a game-ending interception in the final seconds of Saturday's loss to the Bears, finishing 9 for 14 for 85 yards. Although it didn't look great in the end, there was.
There's some promises for him, and the 51.2 rating. It doesn't tell the whole story. This is a guy that's definitely gonna have homework with the development department. He's gonna have to develop as a QB. He's gonna have to show that he could be out there. The hype was somewhat, coming before the draft, and then you see what happened at draft night. Many different things happened. There's a lot on this man's mind. He's in a situation in Tennessee where they kept Tannehill, and they're gonna say that they're questionable on Malik Willis, but in order to get in front of Malik Willis, you're gonna have to play him. So
let me ask you this.
It could end up good for him, but he has to play that way as well, because it's here for him. These 2 guys in front of him may not be here next year. He's gonna be there.
That's the question I was going to ask. What happens first? Do you think Levis gets named QB1, or the head coach gets let go?
Head coach gets let go, because there's going to be somebody telling you in that locker room to start him.
Right.
Especially if Malik Willis has not developed.
Right.
And that's how it goes. And they're probably going to say no. They're probably going to look on it. Coach is going to be the first one to get fried, because that's how it is in the NFL.
It's true.
Side, man, we got Will back over here. Technical difficulties on himself, man. Will going through week 2, of the preseason, in terms of rookie play. We have on the list another QB who pretty much getting a lot of chance. But he didn't play, man. Hooker, missing all training camp, recovering from ACL injury. We'll see how he does his thing. I believe Jake Hagener played on Sunday against the Chiefs. Shout out to the Saints for their biggest victory of this season, and it's in the preseason. You know, they'll be chatting about that all season long, about beating the Chiefs in the preseason. Stetson Bennett, actually, number 128 pick, round 4, made his debut in the second quarter of the Rams Saturday game, relieving Brett Ripon. On the first possession, man, Bennett led the Rams on a 16-play, 75-yard touchdown drive, throwing an 11-yard touchdown pass to Puka Nuka. Bennett started the game 6 of 11 for 53 yards and a touchdown. Shout out to that young man. Shout out to that old young man.
Yeah, I know, right? What are you, about 30?
Yes,
I think he's 25, 26.
Yep, 25, 26. Mm-hmm. Will likes lists, man, so I'm gonna extend his list tonight. One 5th round pick, Clayton Tune from Arizona, went 13 of 23 for 135 yards with a touchdown and an interception on Friday. He went 6 for 7 for 67 yards on the Cardinals' first touchdown drive of the preseason in the third quarter, finding Caden Davis on a 70-yard pass. Of course, Colt's gonna be the guy, the veteran, but we'll see how fast Murray's back to recover it. Caden may play this season. You know what I'm saying? I don't think the Cardinals should go play Kyler. We know they're not going to be in the playoff picture, so why would you go risk it? So you may say Davis on the field this season.
Let me ask you this real fast, and it's interesting that you're talking about the Cardinals. So obviously, it's probably going to be Cole McCoy is probably going to be the starter there this year. Kyler look like he's out of shape based on the picture that we've seen.
I don't know what the hell he wearing.
I heard
Zeke passed it off. Zeke passed it off to him.
Now I'm thinking what Arizona may do is they may tank for Caleb coming out of USC with the number 1 overall pick, and they have Houston's pick, which can probably be like the number 4 pick. Can you see them taking Caleb and then maybe getting like a Marvin Harrison Jr. and then trading Kyler somewhere?
That can be something that interesting because first, if you're gonna bring a tandem, first off, you're gonna bring a QB. First off, you already know it's over.
Right.
You know, and then the tandem guy. You know, Arizona kind of likes that niche of, you know, having a great receiver. So if you can get both of those picks like that, you know people are going to be hollering at you for picks. You know, maybe trade and try to back up a little bit, try to get more talent. That could be another option. But the way Arizona, where they want to be at, they want to have a decent QB and they want to have a decent receiver. So I can see them doing something like that. That'll be pretty dope to see, man. What happens this season with them? We know they're gonna suck.
It happens.
They're gonna suck. Yes. Definitely.
This dude Lewis kills me. Yeah, man. Sorry for technical difficulties, people.
It's all good, man. We got you back, man. I extended your list.
I'm on the Cape and storming. I'm on the Cape and storming out here, man.
It's storming out there tonight, man. So you know, hopefully, if it's storming out there, I mean. Sometimes we get the same weather, not pretty much, but yeah, we get a little rain over here as well. So
it usually hits y'all first, then it comes down here.
We get a little rain. I didn't even know that there was rain in the forecast. But yeah, there's rain in the forecast today and tomorrow. Oh my God, and tomorrow too. Oh man.
Yeah, a lot of that.
Today, so yeah, man. Good luck, New England.
Hey, but did y'all make it to all the quarterback? What I will say is Malik Cunningham looked great. Even though he's not gonna be our backup quarterback, probably, but he might take Zappy's job, bro. He looked real good out there. I heard he got more snaps this week in practice at quarterback. So Malik Cunningham for us.
Okay, yeah. I mean, and that can be good too. You know what I'm saying? Because at the same time, you kind of zine what Zappy is. You know, so now you pick this guy up. So of course, in preseason, you know what I'm saying, you can maximize his reps. The issue is if Matt gets hurt this season, how is that going to scramble? Because now the pressure's on Zappy now. Zappy's like, I know this guy's going to beat me. I can't make no mistakes now. Last year was kind of like, okay, you go to
he was the loved one. Everyone was like, bring in Zappy, but it won't be this year. This year, Malik is the new Zappy. I mean, everybody want to see Malik in the game now. So
Zappy's going to have to Zap, or is it actually going to be Zap?
Yo, Zappy's leash is gonna be real short. If he come in and make any kind of mistakes, they will be calling for Malik Cunningham. Especially, I mean, now just as easily, Bill could fool us all. And Malik won't even make the team. Who knows? But I think he should make the team. He's a dual threat guy, and they got him working out a receiver.
He flashed.
Make him, he did, especially when he scored that one scoring play.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that I even criticize about him, I'm like, we know he can throw, we know he can run, but we don't know that he can stay healthy. He's tiny. He's 6 feet, like 180 something pounds. I think he's up to 190 now, something like that. But bro, he took off. He big the safety and the middle linebacker, and then lowered his head on the next guy and got into the end zone. And I'm like, all right, well, that's not that I want to keep seeing him do that, but but the fact that he could get up from that, I was like, oh, okay.
He's hungry. He's hungry for this. He's hungry for this game.
Oh yeah, he's like, I'm gonna show y'all something.
Because soon enough, if he can create that game to be a decent QB, then he'll have the keys. I'm not saying he'll have full keys on a full roster in the NFL, but that's great that you go pitch your fucking body to the test in situations like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's showing I'm here to game. At least let me make this team and show you what I could do. Also, as a player, like, he tried to prove it to the coaches, but the truth is, to that locker room and also to the fans we're waiting to switch up on Mac. Like, most of us don't even like him to begin with, but like the fans that do like him, if we see something in Malik that's really nice, man, Mac could go on with all that.
I know you're saying, shock the ant, man. Arizona tanking. What's the cap hit if you cut or trade Kyler? Who would take that contract?
We look
will be $81.5 million.
Yeah, we checked this before, and it was a nightmare. There's no way they can do that.
Really can't get out of that until 2025.
If I recall, that is at least double the largest one we've ever seen eaten before, which was Matt Ryan at 41, I think.
Yep.
Something like that. So, yeah, it's double the worst contract we've ever seen eaten, and you can't cut it, and no one's going to trade for it. So
I got one thing to say about this, man. Play ball!
Yeah, pretty much. Like, he 11 play ball, that's it.
Go play ball.
Now, they could keep him for the year because they would have, Caleb will more than likely be the first overall pick. His contract's going to be nice, but they can still kind of take that hit. Then they may try to move him, going into the 2025 season. Right, because there's going to be a team that's going to need a QB. And I mean, if he can at least show the shell of himself off the injury, some dumbass team going to go get him. Actually, by 2025, Kyle will be 28. I can see him just saying, you know what? Y'all bring somebody. Play ball. There you go. I'm going to go to the A. Or he'll be a little midget fashion model. Either way, he's going to have a good career. But this is the perfect example of getting what you want growing up and not being able to handle adversity. Especially recently, looking at the Johnny Manziel story on Netflix, I see some similarities here. Not the drug abuse and alcohol portion of it, but the work ethic side of it.
Yeah, his drug is video games and bullshit. Yeah. Although I will say, like, it's literally just a work ethic thing. That's all it really is. Because he got plenty of talent. Like, he could play the game. The world. He could play the game, man. It's crazy what he's able to do at 5'10", maybe. He plays like a big man on the field when he's out there. He's like Doug Flutie, but faster. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, he be making plays, but the man just does not. He doesn't love football, which is a problem. You gotta love football. He comes in. He comes from an affluent family, so money's not a motivator. Right.
He got talent, man. Like you said, yeah, he has hella talent. I don't think it's not the love for the game. It's just that when you when you grow up the way he has and the accolades and all that, it just becomes a custom. Like, you may not a coach or a G may not be able to stop that shit. May not be able to contain it because he's been playing like this structurally his whole life, and where he's gotten to. Number 1 draft pick in the NFL. Though we trash him for somewhat of his game, he still tops in some of the important stats in the league. So ultimately, it's like that guy on the basketball court that's kind of a head case, but the guy still give you 30 a night.
But Pete, you know who else had a wonderful life? A wonderful life and got picked first and still worked for Manning. Manning had a okay life, bro. His dad was an NFL quarterback. Him and his brother had an okay life. They had no reason. They loved the game. Kyler doesn't love the game.
I feel like it's the execution again. All right, we're gonna pick a wrestling comparison on. You're a Shawn Michaels guy. I'm a Bret Hart guy. Now we would say Bret Hart mentally was more in it. Shawn has gotten a little bit more trouble, but they both loved the game. They both loved wrestling. It's just two different ways of like Peyton Manning, Kyle Murray. I would say two different lifestyles, but they're great football players. One, Peyton Manning, cerebral assassin. He's in there, number in the games. You know, nobody can do it like him in football.
I feel you,
Kyler,
but even with your comparison, like both Brett and Michaels loved the sport they was in. They always had.
But guys would say that Shawn wasn't really loving the sport because of what he was doing. The preparation for it. Shawn just had the gifted ability.
Shawn
had the Kyler Murray ability.
Shawn loved both sides.
Sometimes early success bleeds complete. Yep.
Yeah.
Shout out to you guys. And this complacency, definitely, especially early in life. When you're the top of your sport at high school and you go to college and you're top of your game, and then you go to a shitty ass team like Arizona, and then they go hire a fucking college coach that coached you. Like,
and the other reason why I did question his love for the game of football is because he also said that he loved baseball more. That was the thing that came out. So like, look, you want to be great in the NFL, you can love another sport, but you got to work hard here. You got to love this sport and work hard. And maybe it is complacency. Maybe it is just being a spoiled kid. Who knows? I know.
And, hey, you don't get guys that are giftedly athletic in baseball and in football and get the opportunity to try to pick between the two. Like, that kind of goes into this, not to spoil this because he was gifted that. You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy that
we've only seen a few others.
And now, like you said, Will, and I like that you mentioned the heart of the game because it's going to be tested. Definitely going to be tested, you know, in terms of if he wants to be in the league and if he wants to, you know what I mean?
Because now he can't just live off of what he got. Now he got to work to get back, to work to get healthy. And even when he does get healthy, he may never be 100% the same with that speed and agility that he was before. Because ACLs, although we repair them a lot better than we used to,
they take 2 years to even come back from that.
The first year, you're still mentally trying to prepare and like repair yourself. And especially with a guy who uses it so much. My man will cut back 3-4 times in a single play. We've seen some of the longest plays in quarterback scramble in history. Just him running around in the backfield. So
more than the
yeah. So that's not going to be. He's not going to be able to do that anymore.
And all this with a new head coach in town,
who's not his man's that loved him and wanted him. This guy is ready to be like, yo, the only reason you here is because there's $85 million to get rid of you.
Definitely.
Should be fascinating.
Guys, man. Fucking play call sheet.
He's a fascinating player, though. Every time we talk about him, it becomes like a conversation. So that's what the talent is.
You don't know if it's going to be either he's going to get it figured out and turn it around, or he's going to be that one player we're going to kind of be like, what if?
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah.
A woulda kid.
Wish nothing but the best for him, man.
Never actually did it, but always talk about what he would have did.
But that's definitely It's a good topic. Great look on the week one quarterbacks.
Even though I didn't get to run it, but it's a great topic. I didn't get to run. Sorry for our technical difficulties. But yo, shout out to everybody who joined the chat. Shout out to my peeps, man, who joined the chat. Shout out to you fellas. Shout out to the brand. Like, share, subscribe. We on Spotify. We on iTunes. We everywhere. We already discussed this, but we can keep telling you. Keep looking for us. Keep liking. Keep sharing, please, so that everybody can see it. And yeah, man, we're going to be back here tomorrow chopping it up.
Chopping it up tomorrow. Shout out to everybody, as Will said, man, who tuned in. Had a great weekend. We usually ask how each other's weekends are, but we got so much news out the gate, man. Weekend was great. Hope everybody's weekend was well. Shout out to guys at Crew Love, man, for the amazing tournament. Shout out to Save Our Streets for the amazing tournament. Shout out to Let It Fly. Shout out to amazing tournaments in Massachusetts. I attended a few of them this weekend, and excited, man. Great way to end the summer of tournament basketball, at least for me, you know. But in all, man, shout out to you guys, man, for making this Monday as well as every Monday, you know, great, you know, throwing sixes, kicking field goals, and returning punts. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do best, man. It's the play call sheet.
Oh, man.
How about the Cowboys?
Shout out to Anthony, Jake, Bobby, Chris, Lewis, Lil Dice 504, Josh, Bree, Frankie, and Sports Unfolded. If I forgot anybody, my apologies, but we definitely appreciate y'all tapping in with us. Make sure y'all hang out with us tomorrow night It's the weekly version of the chickadee chop up. Come in and holler at your boys. Y'all have a good night. Appreciate y'all. Peace.
Find this podcast and others on STWF TV, the Podcasting Network, wherever you get podcasts.